Pierre Poilievre, the man who talks faster than an auctioneer on double espresso, and somehow made inflation charts trend on TikTok. But who is this guy really? How did a Calgary kid with a funny nickname end up leading the Conservatives and shaking up Canadian politics? Stick around, because his story is full of plot twists you don't want to miss. Pierre Poilievre, from Calgary kid to Conservative boss. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. Pierre Marcel Poilievre was born in Calgary in 1979. He was adopted by two teachers. A solid, middle-class upbringing in the prairies. And yes, teachers! Which makes it extra funny that he grew up to roast the education system on the regular. At the University of Calgary, he studied international relations. Basically, the art of arguing with strangers. And guess what? He discovered he was really good at it. Fun fact. His first political hustle was selling Reform Party membership cards. Imagine a 20-year-old peer knocking and saying, "Hi, do you have a moment to talk about fiscal responsibility?" But what happens when you mix Prairie Grit, Debate Club energy, and a chip on your shoulder? Well, you get a 25-year-old running for Parliament. Chapter 2. Young Gun in Ottawa. In 2004, Pierre Poilievre ran for office in Ottawa's Nepean-Carleton riding. He was only 25, and he won. That's right. While most of us were still arguing with roommates about dirty dishes, Pierre was already arguing with liberals in Parliament. They gave him the nickname Skippy. Why? Because he was young, energetic, and bounced into political fights like a kid who just discovered Red Bull. But here's the thing. Skippy didn't just survive. He thrived. His sharp tongue and endless energy made him Stephen Harper's go-to pit bull. And trust me, he bit hard. And that's when Poilievre went from rookie politician to conservative attack dog. Chapter 3. The Rise of a Fighter. Critics said he was annoying. Supporters said he was fearless. Either way, he was impossible to ignore. And even though he never studied law, he talked like a lawyer. The kind of lawyer who never, ever stops cross-examining you. By the time Harper left office, Pierre had carved out a reputation. The sharpest, scrappiest, most relentless conservative voice in Parliament. But here's the real twist. He wasn't done yet. Not even close. Chapter 4. Leader of the Opposition. Fast forward to 2022. The Conservative Party needed a new leader. Guess who showed up? That's right, Pierre Poilievre, now older, sharper, and even faster at talking. He ran on one big word. Freedom. Freedom from inflation. Freedom from government red tape. Freedom from everything, really. And the pitch worked. He won a landslide. Suddenly, Skippy was the leader of the opposition. The guy going head-to-head with Justin Trudeau. And if you've seen their debates, woo! It's like watching two very polite Canadians try to insult each other with a thesaurus. But Poilievre didn't just bring his speeches, he brought social media. And that's when things got interesting. Chapter 5. The social media politician. Most politicians struggle on TikTok. Pierre, he thrives. He points at charts. He talks about inflation. He repeats the word freedom like it's a magic spell. And boom, millions of views. It's simple, it's sharp, and it works. Suddenly, younger Canadians who usually ignored politics started paying attention. And love him or hate him. You can't deny. Pierre Poilievre is a social media machine in a country where most politicians still think going viral means catching a cold. But behind the politician, there's also the person. And yes, even Pierre Poilievre has a personal life. Chapter 6, the man behind the glasses. Pierre is married to Anita Poilievre, a Venezuelan-Canadian entrepreneur. Together, they have 2 kids. He's known for jogging, staying fit, and, of course, always rocking those glasses. The official Poilievre brand, Quirks. He hates red tape, but loves blue ties. He's fiercely private, but also loves to troll reporters with and whether you call him Canada's debate champion or just the nation's most persistent overachiever, one thing's clear. The man has energy to burn. Conclusion: the Alberta connection. So, why does all this matter in Alberta? Well, Poilievre's story started in Calgary. And as Alberta becomes a battleground for the future of Canadian politics, his voice, sharp, relentless, and very, very fast, could be the deciding factor. From prairie kid to opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre is more than just a politician. He's a political disruptor. And whether you love him or roll your eyes every time he says inflation, you can't deny. The man has changed the game, because in Canadian politics, there's quiet, there's polite. And then there's Pierre Poilievre, Alberta Est Firebrand. Subscribe for more political deep dives.